Do you guys vote?
I don't vote.
I voted for Bernie because I didn't really like any of them, and I was like, you know what, let's go for Bernie.
They feel like their voice is not heard at all.
I did vote, and I voted for Bernie Sanders.
I vote in general elections, I vote in the primaries, and I like to vote in local elections as well.
Also, they kind of feel like, you know what, they kind of really don't care less about the country. I'm not saying that they don't love it, don't get me wrong, but I kind of feel like it's like, you know what, I'm young, I don't really care, my vote doesn't matter anyway. They're gonna vote for another either Republican or another some kind of Democrat, and to be honest, I don't think they really care, and I don't think they really have a passion.
I don't vote because it seems whoever is put into office seems to bring something negative to the country and seems to ruin it some way, so I do not want to be a part of it.
Well, I did not get to vote today because I am not registered in Wake County, so I have to go to Guilford County, my hometown, to vote, which sucks because it's inconvenient for me. I go to college, so.
I am registered in Wake County, but my precinct is up the street. I could turn in a provisional ballot, but it may or may not count.
It was very important to us to challenge that because the change in voter laws was going to affect young people, people who move very much, who are very mobile, African American communities. There were a lot of people that it was going to affect, and many of those people were people that were part of my constituency and people that I very much represented. I think it was an unfair cutting people out from the process.
The statistics are incredibly disheartening, right? I think that it's because young people feel very just disenfranchised. I think they feel like, and often a theme that I hear in class is that their vote doesn't count, and you know, they've maybe learned a little bit about the Electoral College or something, and so they've become, you know, very distressed that there's this whole system out there that they can't really even explain that votes for them, and so why does their vote count?
I remember the first time I voted, I went in and it was the presidential election. I went in, I voted for the president, and had no clue really even what the rest of them were. Luckily, back then you could vote straight ticket, so I just hit the button and just voted that way.
There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and I think that it makes them feel like they don't really have a voice. I also think that, and this is just completely honest, I don't think that I hear the passion or the desire to vote that maybe like the boomers felt when they were their age. I hear a lot of apathy. I hear a lot of like, you know, I don't have time for that. I work, I go to school. I don't really, you know, they're not informed anyway. They don't really even know maybe who's running or who like the vice president, you know, on the ticket is going to be, or what the candidates believe in terms of issues. And they don't have time to, or they don't have the passion or the interest to care to find out.
The biggest obstacle to voting is most likely individuals being uninformed or ill-informed, not doing research, and apathy. A lot of people don't believe that their vote matters at all, so why bother?
I think that, like, I've thought there's two big things that would really help young people. One is for schools and employers to put an emphasis on voting, to take, you know, hey, take 2 hours for lunch and everyone go vote, or come in an hour late to work and go vote. Because like I said, when you're 18 to 25, your schedule's a little bit more out of your hands a lot of times. You just have to do what your schedule says, what that entails, and making it more of an event, because, you know, I think it happens more in the big elections, but even the local ones for, you know, schools, especially kids in college or that are working, to find time to allow them to vote.
So a little bit of, I think, a combination here of, you know, disenfranchisement, where they feel like it doesn't matter anyway, and apathy, where they can't be bothered to care to do some research about what the candidates say and think and what they'll do for this country.
But my grandparents, I remember talking to them, and they told me that back in their time it was harder for them to vote. And they told me how, us as people, we had to fight to make sure that the vote actually counted, and the vote was actually heard. So they told me the importance of really voting and making sure, because the next person we're going to have for the next 4 years.
Each election cycle, I realize more and more that it's just important to get out and just get your voice out there, get your vote out there, and learn about all the issues and all the candidates and learn what's going on around you. Tara Spiles, who's a senior here, is going to do something in the spring where he's going to have a booth set up where students can register, or they can change their address, they can do that to set up where they're going to vote. And then in the fall we're also going to do the same thing. We're set up a booth probably in front of the dining hall with a laptop, and people can come in and either register if they haven't registered or figure out where they're registered.
It really does count. In these primary elections, the difference between a potentially winner-take-all state is coming down to 1,000 people, right? Isn't that crazy? Hundreds of people in some states, where these 40 delegates will go to whatever candidate, and that hinged on 1,000 people turning out to vote. That's awesome.
It's important for young voters more than anyone because you're electing officials that are going to affect you directly as you're moving from 18 to 25 to 28, 29, 30. These are the people that are going to be deciding what your daily life could be like, and other things that job market and taxes. So research, find a way, and then go vote. It's a good feeling, and then you also get some free donuts if you vote here.